At Twill, we strive to simplify logistics. That's why we're going to introduce the complex world of Incoterms to you in just a few minutes. So what are they? Incoterms are rules created by the International Chamber of Commerce that explain commonly used terms of trade in the sale and purchase of goods around the world. What do they do? When used as part of a contract for the sale and purchase of goods, they allocate who bears responsibility for costs, risks, and transport obligations between buyers and sellers. This includes who is responsible for the import and export duties and documentation, and who pays for the transportation. They also define the exact point where these responsibilities and risks pass from the seller to the buyer. What don't they do? They do not set payment terms for the goods or who owns them. And they don't always determine who is responsible for the insurance either. So you'll sometimes need to check and agree this separately. Now, let us show you some different Incoterms. There are 11 different Incoterms, but here are the 4 most used: FCA, FOB, CIF, and DDP. Let's look at FCA first. It stands for Free Carrier and can be used for all forms of transport. It means the seller delivers the goods at their own premises or another agreed location to the buyer's carrier. Once the goods are loaded, all responsibility passes to the buyer for the rest of the journey. The seller also has to take care of export customs clearance. Now let's look at FOB. It stands for Free on Board and only applies to transport by sea or inland waterways. It means the seller is responsible for getting the goods through customs and delivering them on board the ship. Once on board, all responsibility for risk and costs for the goods passes to the buyer for the rest of the journey. Next up is CIF. It stands for Cost, Insurance and Freight. Again, this can only be used for transport by sea or inland waterways. It means the seller is responsible for getting the goods through customs, onto the ship, and transporting them to the port of destination. The responsibility for risks passes to the buyer on loading, but CIF specifies that the seller must also insure the goods until they arrive. Once the goods arrive at the port, the buyer is responsible for offloading them and the rest of their journey. Finally, there's DDP. It stands for Delivered Duty Paid and applies to all forms of transport. It means the seller is responsible for loading, shipping, and unloading all customs and duties, and delivering the goods to the buyer's destination. Helped make things clearer? You can find out more about Incoterms by downloading our ebook at twill.net/Incoterms. We recommend that you check with a lawyer before entering into a contract for the sale or purchase of goods. This is not legal advice. If you want to understand more about Incoterms and the legal effect of their sales contracts, you should check with a lawyer.